I've done a lot of interviews with CEOs and hiring managers about cyber diversity, and this is the answer I get. We want to improve it. We're not as good as we want to be, and the big issue is the pipeline. Do you believe they want to do better, and what do you say to the pipeline issue?
I think the expectation is folks that in information security that they're looking for like unicorns or white unicorns, which do not exist. And so they make it a little bit more difficult for people of color specifically, especially women of color, to even get their foot in the door.
One of the things that I hear all the time is people want to do the right thing, but it's just a pipeline. They don't know where to find the right talent. I completely disagree. There is a standard that is raised when trying to bring on minority talent. That is, it's subconscious. People don't know that they're doing it. We need to put aside those things that we know tend to be based on bias, especially access to education opportunities, college. And we need to figure out a way that we can really judge someone's ability to act and to fill the role given their skill set today, not on the things that they've been able to do in the past.
My interview experience hasn't been terrible. It's pretty much just like post-interview or inclusivity one time in, right? Like once I've gotten the job.
In the entry-level positions, they should be looking at vocational schools, community colleges, HBCUs. And my hope is that the communities they live in are diverse. They should be asking their Black and brown neighbors where they can find talent. Women in particular don't raise their hands to be chosen. That even when they are approached, there are so many questions before they'll even take the interview that it becomes a little bit of a chore in order to convince them to be allowed the chance.
I think that it does take first women like us kind of reminding other women that like, hey, you could totally do it. Just apply. What's the worst that can happen? I want to see more white middle-aged men sponsor women and people of color, specifically women who look like me as well, right? And like Jules, and help us move into those ranks, right? Help us move into those or make the jump into like, leadership.
All right. We are now going to play the Department of Yes. We have a bunch of absolutely horrible ideas. Ask candidates with non-English names what English names they would like to be given if they do get hired.
I would want to implement that to, make sure that everyone feels included and inclusive and not discriminated against, for not being able to pronounce a name. Everyone doesn't have to learn a new language in order to pronounce their colleague's name.
A lot of time is spent on pronouncing and mispronouncing names. It's actually quite rude and disrespectful to mispronounce someone's name. I think if we kept the names English, they'd be easy to pronounce and people would feel good and respected in our organization.
Expect diversity issues to, quote, just go away on their own.
Things crop up, we build a technology, it disappears. I don't think diversity should be out of alignment with cybersecurity. I think they should be completely aligned.
With every hard problem, they don't disappear, we just push them under the rug, right? So in this case, we're going to push it under the rug and act like it disappears because, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. So let's leave it alone.
Once I got in, I made it a point to hire additional women. But I would say as a part of joining the organization, it was good. What becomes a bad environment is if we don't keep it up. So if I hadn't been committed to that, then we would just continue to hire white males around me, which a lot of women experience, and it's very, very uncomfortable. Inclusive environments are designed, similar to the one I was in, to make people feel like they belong.
My story has been just to become exceptional at everything that I do and kind of kicking ass, right? Proving the person wrong, being able to execute in all aspects of the word. And although that has caused more stress for me, it's what I've had to do, right? To prove myself and continue to prove myself and my worth. And it's exhausting.
I think more women and minorities need to make waves. I don't think it's our job to make people feel comfortable with us, but a lot of it isn't on purpose. So you have to assume positive intent first. And what I'll assume is this person seems like maybe a jackass, but maybe isn't deliberately trying to be racist towards me. Some people don't have Black and brown people and a lot of women in their communities that they're engaging with. Some men prefer to hang out with all guys. So they come to work, they work with women. They're not sure how to address women. And so it's an education more than anything.
I think it is important to call people out on their crap on a one-on-one, right? Like not to embarrass them and come from a place of education. However, a lot of people don't want to be educated and don't necessarily want to be educated by the likes of us. It really depends on the person and how much you can tolerate.
Here's a good question that came in from Richard Yu, which is also a bad idea that's in the poll right now. Do you believe firms outrightly saying on the job description that the role is only reserved for a minority?
It's a bad move because it's illegal. Don't do it. There are ways to signal. So if you want to draw certain people in, talk about how inclusive the environment is. Talk about the fact that you take, work-life balance seriously. Talk about the fact that there are all these programs inside the organization, and people will get the hint.
Just expand on that. Professional development is really important as well. When you see that, it kind of signals that it's not impossible to move up or move across that through that ladder.
You should describe the environment you're going into. A lot of women are afraid of toxic environments. So if you can describe what the work life is like and who the reporting structure is to, that helps too, because then they can get a sense of whether it's for them or not. In the security organization hiring for a Black CISO, specific situation, stop assuming that they need professional development. Stop assuming that when Black executives come to the table, they're not ready and they then need the support. What it does is it minimizes the weight of their experience and makes them subservient to their peers.
Just be open to different perspectives all the time, not some of the time, and it's okay to be uncomfortable. You may not like the perspective, but just be open to listening.